Home last night to play host to a divisional foe, the Seattle Mariners. The Red Hot M's rallied late and grabbed game one in extra innings. Playing at home has been a struggle recently for the green and gold, and with 19 of their next 24 games at the Coliseum, the A's would love to get some home cooking going and keep the top of the AL West within reach. A's Mariners game 2 next. Well, it's another chilly night at the Coliseum as we get set for game 2 of this 3-game series. A's looking for a bounce-back night against the Mariners. A's Mariners coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. The A's have called up Daniel Gossett to make tonight's start. He made a couple starts earlier this year, Ray. It looks like, though, he went down to the minor leagues, made a few adjustments, and he was pitching very well for Nashville. And
a great opportunity for Daniel Gossett or any pitcher because of the disabled list that is really getting very, very large from the athletic standpoint. But the one thing he said tonight is you see the numbers in Nashville, 4-0 with a sub-2 earned run average. He said, I slowed everything down. We've heard that before from position players, but from a pitcher standpoint, he said that really has made him a lot better. Let's see if it works for him tonight, because this is a great opportunity for him to get back in the rotation for the Athletics.
For the Seattle Mariners, well, their lineup is missing some very key players. We know who they are. Gordon's out, Cano, Haniger's out tonight. But Gene Segura is in there, and I think the Mariners are happy he's in there because he took a pretty good shot to his shoulder last night. Dallas, tell us about that.
Well, I tell you what, guys, he has been an absolute spark plug for this team. You talk about the guys that they're missing. The Cano, Cruz was a little banged up. Obviously, D. Gordon out now. But over the last 12 games, 407, 10 runs, 6 stolen bases. He's done a great job of getting himself on base, putting himself in scoring position. You see here the other night against Petit, he shoots it to right field. He's on base. He gets into scoring position. And then that slide here at home, Lucroy doing all he can to take away home plate. He was probably going to be safe either way you slice it. So for Gene Segura, playing a huge role for this Seattle Mariner offense at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, Gene Segura, 8th in the American League in batting average, and he is indeed in the leadoff spot. Game 2 coming up. It'll be the A's and the Mariners. We'll have lineups and first pitch in just a moment.
See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Only at Jack in the Box.
Jonathan Lucroy leading the troops out as we are set for game 2 of this 3-game series. Tough loss last night in extra innings for the Athletics, but they'll try to even up this series at a game apiece. Another cool night. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily starting Friday, May 25th. 55 degrees right now. And it's about what it was last night. Except last night we had a little bit of drizzle throughout the game. Doesn't look like that's going to happen tonight. Here's the starting lineup for the visiting Seattle Mariners, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Gene Segura's in there. We talked about him in the open of our show. Then it's Heredia. Cruz is back in there. Seager, Healy, Gamble, Zanino, Andrioli, who just was brought up from the minor leagues, John Andrioli, and then Gordon Beckham.
And a long time ago, Daniel Gossett was optioned to AAA early part of April. Got a chance to see exactly what it was like back at Nashville. Had a good season, good record down there. Here, 0-1, and he has made 3 previous starts against the Mariners. And nice to see him take on a team that he did not have a lot of success against last year. A lot of home runs he gave up, but tonight in 2018 is a different story. Let's hope that is the case for Daniel Gossett.
So Gossett's ready, and so is Gene Segura. And here is the first pitch of the ball game, and it's outside corner, called a strike. Segura, Heredia, and Cruz, the top 3 in the Mariners lineup. 315, the average for Gene Segura, 8th best in the league. 3 homers and 33 RBIs. Grounded left side, and it's going to be Chapman who's got it. So 1 away. A's defense. Pinder in left, Canna in center, Piscotti in right, Chapman, Simeon, Franklin Barreto is up from the minor leagues. He'll play second tonight. Lowry's going to DH, then Olsen at first. Lucroy is the catcher. So 1 away. Here's Guillermo Heredia, one of the heroes last night for Seattle. There's Franklin Barreto. We'll tell you why he's here, because the A's had transactions today, which we sort of had an idea they were coming. We knew Gossett was going to be called up. A little bit unsure of what was going to happen with Chris Davis, although I think Chris Davis avoiding the disabled list was probably a long shot.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's better just to shut a guy down so he doesn't try to do anything, knowing that he's got the 10 days. And then see what happens after that.
So 1-2 the count to Guillermo Heredia. So Chris Davis was indeed placed on the 10-day disabled list with the groin injury. And that one just missed a little bit low. Brian O'Nora is the crew chief, and he's calling balls and strikes. CB Bucknor's at first. Chris Conroy's at second. Brian Knight is down at third.
And Brian O'Nora can fool you.
More action for Chapman. He backhands it. 2 outs. So here's all the moves that were made today by the Athletics. So it starts with Chris Davis being placed on the disabled list. Franklin Barreto brought up from AAA. Daniel Gossett brought up from AAA. And Wilmer Font was designated for assignment. So that is what happened today. And as far as Chris Davis goes, we are not trainers or doctors, but it was a grade 1 groin strain, which is the least serious grade for a strain.
Well, Bob Melvin said he did not hear it pop, which I guess popping is not good when it comes to a groin injury.
No, that doesn't sound like it would be good at all.
Not at all. And guys, speaking from experience, having that issue myself, there is there's a telltale sign, and that is a noise. You hear that pop and you know this is going to be a long one. So that is definitely a silver lining.
I learned my first year of professional baseball the necessity of stretching, because as a catcher in Reading, Pennsylvania, AA, as a youngster thinking, nothing could happen. I went to back up first, and whoop, there goes the groin. And at least I learned from it.
Yeah, it is a painful injury. If you never had a groin injury, and if you think about it, if you're just sitting in a chair and you just try to lift up your leg, you wouldn't be able to do it if you've hurt your groin.
Oh, no.
So we hope Chris Davis is back, and we hope it's no longer than the 10 days, as he is the linchpin in the middle of this A's lineup.
Well, that's a big bat to take out, but and talked last night about the Mariners, how they have successfully had a nice run considering the number of players out of their lineup. Cruz is back. He missed last night's game. He had a home run against Gossett last year.
And Nelson Cruz was hit by a pitch in the elbow a couple games ago, and that's why he was out of the lineup. Back in there tonight. He strikes out, and a good first inning for Daniel Gossett. Couple of ground balls and a strikeout. Getting along so far. All right, here's the A's lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Simeon, Pinder, Lowry, Chapman in the cleanup spot, and Canna, Olson, Piscotty, Lucroy, and Barreto.
And the pitcher is a young man who started against the A's earlier in the season. His name is Marco Gonzalez. And the A's seeing him, they know exactly what he throws, and that's not overpowering stuff, but a game that the Mariners did win. A game that Graveman started up in Seattle.
Yeah, the A's knocked Marco Gonzalez around a little bit. 4 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Well, not a little bit, quite a bit. But he escaped with a no decision.
Yep.
Up the middle, Segura throws, and a heck of a play by Gene Segura. He was shaded toward the hole, so he had a long ways to go to his left. Nice play.
And the fact that he never had to leave his feet, that's what makes it impressive. Slow curveball that Simeon really looked like he had a base hit up the middle, but out of nowhere comes Segura, not leaving his feet. Off balance throw. Good stretch at first by Healy, and the jump to the bag by Marcus Simeon. Not enough time, but Segura, after what happened last night, think that maybe he's not even going to be in the lineup, but he makes a tremendous play defensively in the first one of the game.
First pitch to Pinder is at the knees for a strike. Pinder at 272 with 4 home runs, 11 RBIs.
Basically, Gonzalez likes to throw the fastball, the curve, and the changeup. He does have a slider, but those 3 pitches, as they mentioned, are the predominant pitches, and cannot look for too much.
No, to your point, Fossey does a tremendous job of mixing it up. 33 fastballs, 24 changeups, 21 curveballs, 19 cutters last time out against Detroit. So it's a steady diet of the kitchen sink.
They gave up 1 unearned run in 5 2/3 innings in that start against the Tigers. There's the breakdown. I always feel like every once in a while we should explain to our viewers, in case. They don't quite understand the two-seam fastball, the four-seam fastball. Four-seam fastball is going to probably have a little sinking action to it, right, guys?
No, the
four is straight. Two is
the two-seam.
Right,
Yeah, two-seam. See, I got to make sure I got it right. Quick look at the defense for the Mariners. Gamble, Heredia, and Andrioli in the outfield. Seager, Segura, Beckham, and Healy in the infield with Zunino doing the catching.
You know, to your point, Kai, and maybe Dallas can explain that the natural delivery of a left-hander, whether it's a two or four seam, you're probably going to get movement.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Dallas, you can confirm or deny whatever, but it seems like lefties, it's hard for them to throw the ball straight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I grew up left-handed, Foss. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Jeez, what a shock.
But yeah, the four-seam fastball is the one that's going to keep you true on plane more so. The two-seam fastball is a couple different ways to hold it. A naked two-seamer, as they say, where there's no seams, or you can get on one side of the horseshoe or the other and grab those two seams and let that thing work for you. And that's where we talked about earlier in the season, arm side run. That's where you'll see predominantly from lefties is they'll have that run or that movement to the arm side or away from a right-hander into a left-hander.
And a four-seamer, you'll get a little more velocity, right?
Right. Closer the fingers are together.
3-2 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss by Pinder. Well, tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. I don't know if we'll get that from Marco Gonzalez.
Well, there's only one player on this field that needs to throw a two-seam fastball or a two-seam pitch, and that's the pitcher. The other guys want to throw four-seam because they want it to be straight. They want it to be accurate. You don't want the movement. But as I explained last night with Reggie Jackson, that natural left-hander had a lot of sink to it. And I think a lot of times, and you know, people always say, why aren't there left-handed catchers? Because I don't know that the left-hander can throw the ball straight to second base like a right-hander, simply because it's back of the ear, four-seam, etc. I mean, Dallas probably will deny that, but you know, from a lefty standpoint, there aren't many Dallas that really can throw the ball 100 miles an hour. It's mostly the finesse.
Yeah, you see that. I mean, there's those rare breeds, right? The Billy Wagners, the Randy Johnsons, even Steve Carlton. Those guys, they can run it up there in the mid to upper nines. It's funny how the lefties have become or have been throughout history more of a touch and feel type of arm.
Slowly hit, and Lowry is going to have himself a base hit. Beckham, the second baseman, was shifted over towards second base, so he had a very, very long ways to go. And once Gonzalez could not make the play, you had a pretty good idea that Lowry was going to get himself a base hit.
Well, it's a good job by Jed hitting them where they ain't. You see Marco Gonzalez, he peels off to the first base side, understands this isn't the tweener play he had anticipated, and Beckham knows I've got one shot and one shot only. Go with the flesh. If not, Jed Lowry safe at first.
1,000th game, isn't it, for Jed tonight? So he gets a hit in his first at bat.
And here's Chapman hitting in the cleanup spot.
You know what I thought you were going to ask? Okay. When you said maybe we explain about a crafty left-hander.
Crafty lefty, we could do that too. Dallas Braden was a crafty lefty.
Because you don't have a crafty right-hander. They're only crafty left-handers.
No, you have a, well, what would be a, even like a, you don't hear soft tossing righty, but you hear soft tossing lefty.
No, because usually, well, it's because if you're a soft tossing righty, you quickly become an insurance salesman. Right after that.
Right, yeah.
You're in the minor leagues.
Yeah, you're not up here. But lefties can do that. Jamie Moyer.
Oh,
I mean, he was the master because, you know, let's put all those lefties against him because of his great changeup. He said, all right, I'll throw the changeup to lefties. And he was probably one of the first that I remember that actually did that. But he'd throw the change up the outside part of the plate to the lefties as he would to the righties.
That one's hit in the air, left field. Gamble coming in. Gamble dives, and he caught it. Nice play by Ben Gamble. Takes a hit away from Chapman, and the A's do not score.
Game, folks.
it's called MLB Beat the Streak. Start your streak for a chance at $5.6 million. You can download Beat the Streak today. 5.6. It's #1 draft choice.
It's coming up, right? Was it June 4th, I believe, which is
It's early, yeah.
a Monday. Will be Texas with an off day. Check in on that. Tigers got the first pick, right?
All I know is you're going to draft players that you don't know if they can make it. And, you know, when people talk about, well, they want to tank and have a bad record so they can get a draft choice, you don't know if that draft choice is going to, if a high school player, even a college player, you don't know if he's going to make it. I mean, in the NBA and the NFL, these guys are coming out of college and they're using the minor league or their college as the minor league.
Sure.
And I think that's a big difference.
Seager strikes out on a good pitch from Gossett. He doesn't necessarily agree.
Batting in the 5th position.
Well, Gossett off to a good start, retiring the first 4 batters. A cutter going inside, and according to the home plate umpire Brian Honora, he liked it. Mr. Seager did not.
So 1 out, and here's Healy.
Corey may be watching his brother. He's on the disabled list, gone for the season.
And the A's will pick 9th in the first round of that draft coming up. Yeah, I don't really like the tanking theory either, because I think it's unfair to the players that are out there.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that any of these guys that are standing out on the field right now would play in a game and really, I don't know, that's really care if you won or lost? I think that's ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing about baseball, guys, is the tanking doesn't happen on the field. The tanking occurs in the front office. Because at no point in time as a baseball player do you get on the mound and not try to get the guy at the plate out. And at no point in time does a hitter step up to the plate and not try to get a base hit, not try to do something for his team. Just like you see Daniel Gossett here, toeing the rubber. He's made some adjustments down in Nashville. He comes up here. He's going to take this opportunity by the horns. He's going to accelerate the fastball up and out of the zone. Ryan Healy, eyes getting big, thought he saw a beach ball, coming up goose eggs.
Pitchcast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. So 3 consecutive strikeouts for Gossett. He's pumping it in there now. That one at 95 miles an hour.
You know, I was just going to say, because his velocity had been below that, but it seems like the extra extension where he's getting a lot on the fastball. You get mid-90s from him. That's pretty impressive.
So a quick 0-2 to Ben Gamble.
He made 2 starts, both against the Angels, one in which Ohtani pitched and one in which Ohtani hit a home run off of. So those guys have to be happy because, as we mentioned, our open, some opportunities because Anderson and Triggs both on the disabled list. Unfortunately for Andrew Triggs, it's not as serious as he has said at the Tommy John surgery. He's already had that.
2-2 the count. Gossett, 25 years old, from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Speaking of high draft picks, he was a high draft pick for the 2nd round pick in 2014.
Same year that Matt Chapman and Daniel Gossett were both drafted, 2014. Chapman, #1 for the Athletics. I think Gossett was 2, wasn't he?
Yep. Gossett stayed close to home, went to Clemson.
I know that because I was back in New Jersey making a call. Hello.
Strike 3 call. The ball pops out of Lucroy's glove, so he'll fire it to first.
That's great.
And how about that? Daniel Gossett strikes out the side in the top of the 2nd.
because no matter where you serve or when you serve, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Bottom of the second from the Coliseum, the A's and the Mariners, no score. Mark Canha to lead it off. Canha hitting in the 5th spot tonight. He swings at the first pitch and hits one very high to shallow center. And Heredia has it.
The great thing about being a left-handed pitcher and not being overpowering is that hitter does that. He sees something that looks good to hit and just goes straight up and go back frustrated in his head all night wondering, how did I miss that?
Well, something you know about yourself as a pitcher who is not going to overpower individuals, you know that there's going to be a certain level of aggression coming from the opposing lineup. And you know if you can command the baseball and you can establish your ability to be in and around the zone early, it only benefits you as you get deeper into the ball game.
I think the amazing thing, somebody's throwing 100 miles an hour, I said, how do you hit that? Start your bat. Because you make contact, the rest is up really to what the pitcher. Remember Randy Johnson, Mark McGwire, an optimum with that. Here's a fastball close to 100. McGwire had a perfect swing, and it was a rocket. But those are fun, but it's just a matter of the hitter getting started. But against a left-hander who doesn't throw as hard, or even a right-hander, you try to generate a lot of pop in your bat, you just don't do anything. You get really too big, too long with your swing.
Down and away, and count goes to 2-1 to Matt Olson, hitting .244. 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. Sitting on a little 6-game hitting streak. Close, could have been a strike.
And that's big for Ole because he's obviously he's a feel guy. You don't know if he's a big streaky guy or not, but when he's able to start stringing at bats together, you know that the confidence starts to build, and he understands that he's starting to click, starting to figure some things out.
Well, that ball last night that was hit that Gamble missed when he slipped, but boy, it had some spin rotation on it from an inside-out swing.
Yep.
Lefty on lefty, and that's what he's able to do, and he can handle it. He's got a chance to play against lefties and righties all the time.
Strike 3 called. Fastball on the inside corner.
Runs that heater up and in.
Batting 7, right fielder.
Trying to go away. They stay inside. Looks like he got around a little bit of a cutter, it might have been. Looking to try to cut that baseball down and away from Olson, and just backs up. And we talk a lot about how if you could command the backup cutter, it'd be the best pitch in baseball.
But you know, I think also, Dallas, the fact that he goes to the opposite field against lefties because he stays back a lot more and lets the ball travel more.
Right.
And it seems like if you pitch him inside and he's looking outside, then you can have success, and especially if you can throw the backup cutter.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. 1-0 to Piscotty, hitting in the 7th spot.
And when we saw Olson hit the ball over the monster in left field in Fenway, I mean, that just shows the opposite field power. And I think if you're scouting Matt Olson, that you don't really know how you're going to pitch him, because he does use the whole field and has power to do it.
You look at him stand up there at the plate, and your initial thought, especially as a pitcher, is he's got his hands out away from him. You feel like you might be able to crowd him inside. He does a good job of being able to get to that pitch inside. So now you want to start expanding away. Well, those big long levers attached at the shoulders can do some damage.
2-pitch drops low. Piscotty 0 for 4 last night. Setting up right on the outside corner, and Gonzalez hits the outside corner, and he has a 3-up, 3-down inning with a couple of strikeouts. No score after 2.
How about 3 in 1 inning? That was Kyle Seager with a called third strike. He blew away Ryan Heaney with a fastball up, and then a backdoor breaking ball clanked by Jonathan Lucroy, but called strike 3 to Vin Gamble. 4 in a row struck out by Daniel Gossett.
Here's Mike Zunino. Mariners catcher, hitting .214, but 7 home runs, 17 RBIs, and a 2-run homer last night. A's were feeling pretty good till Zunino hit that home run.
Yeah, it's one of those you want to get through the 7th inning and turn it over to the bullpen, and unfortunately it didn't happen because of this right here from Trevor Cahill. 3-2. Saying don't go. It did go. And just like that, 2-2. A walk with 1 out. And a home run by Zunino.
Hit pretty well to right field. Piscotty's back. Piscotty's at the wall. He leaps and he caught it. Piscotty went over the wall, timed his leap perfect, and took a home run away from Zunino.
Well, he made the great catch in Boston into the seats. This was probably better. A lot better. As Zunino going opposite field, thinking maybe he's going to do it. But the fact that the ball was hit high, it allowed Piscotty to get back to the wall, feel for the wall, and jump up and bring it back. He felt, he knew how close he was, and that is a tremendous play to go over the fence and bring it back. And yes, pitchers love those kind of plays.
First pitch to John Andrioli is a strike. Well, you've said many times it's important for an outfielder, if he can, get back there, stop, and then jump, and that's exactly what Piscotty did.
Absolutely. That's a great point, because he did not let the ball stop him by jumping into the wall. Saw Betts in Boston similarly, although it looked like he twisted his ankle. But
much easier play for Piscotty. He's got it.
And what he does, guys, it's a technique called ball, wall, ball. You check the ball, you feel for the wall, and then you pick the ball back up. You have an idea of where you're at, and that's exactly what he did. Got himself in position, ball, wall, ball, check it, elevate, play above the rim, and bring that bad boy back.
You know, the great thing, too, you can see with the catch, he caught it in his palm so he could squeeze it. And as we always talk about the long outfielder's gloves, you get it up the webbing, you try to squeeze, there's nothing there. And you may pull a little highlight or drop the ball over the fence, but great shot of him catching the ball in the pocket, squeezing it, and bringing it back.
And you really can't time your jump or jump as high if you're just running straight into the wall.
Exactly. It's going to stop you. It's just going to stop you. That's why the ball Zunino hit the left field last night.
Clean dive goes under his glove, and Beckham's got a hit.
That was a clean home run last night, and if there had been any possibility for the ball to be caught, it's just almost impossible, just because of the way the ball was hit and just a shallow trajectory. There's a breaking ball down, and Beckham just dropped the head of the bat and found the hole. Nice diving effort by Semien, but no chance.
So that's the first hit for Seattle. And now to the top of the order, Segura, who grounded out to third. Segura was 1 for 5 last night, but it was that hit. Got the inning going in the 10th, and then he scored on Heredia. His double to right center. And that was the difference in the game, with the Mariners winning last night 3-2.
Well, the important thing for Daniel Gossett, he gives up a 2-out base hit, but he's got to get the third out quickly, get back in the dugout. Don't want to take any chance to having the Mariners extend this inning with multiple 2-out hits.
When you talk about mentality for Daniel Gossett down in AAA in this type of situation, you have a little more confidence in yourself, feeling like you can attack and take that killer mentality into the AB. That right there is what has to transfer over for Daniel Gossett at the big league level. You don't want to let this inning here start to snowball on you with 2 outs. Get right back on the saddle and ride this AB out.
Beckham with a good lead at first. Segura fouls it straight back. Infield plays pretty straight up for Segura. Canna is shaded a little bit toward right center, but Segura, I mean, he sprays the ball all over the place. Segura banged that left shoulder pretty good at the plate last night, but he is in there tonight. Oh, Beckham got a huge jump.
Wow.
So Beckham with the stolen base.
You know, I was thinking about that, Kite, that while the calls come from the dugout, but you watch this. I mean, this is, okay, I've looked, I'm not going to throw to first base. Beckham went on the first move. And really, as smart, I mean, this is one you probably should think about because Segura's a leadoff hitter. If he has a chance now of driving him in, if Beckham's thrown out, which he wasn't, as he coasted in the second, Segura's got a chance to drive him in, or had not, he'd got a chance to lead off next inning.
Well, on top of that, Ray, Segura's batting average with runners in scoring position, 400.
Take a chance with Heredia since first base is open.
So we'll see if Gossett indeed pitches carefully to Gene Segura.
Hard breaking ball, just try to get him to fish.
And it was a breaking ball, and Segura spoiled it. This is the play Heredia's hit, and then Segura's scoring, and collision at home plate. Watch the shoulder of Segura and the shin guard of LaCroix. That's where the collision happened.
Jonathan admitted that he got in the way and he did not create a lane for Segura, but it's also dangerous for a runner to try to dive head first, because you hit a shin guard, you're in trouble.
Simeon throws out Segura, and the runner Beckham is stranded at second base. Great play by Stephen Piscotty, takes a home run away from Mike Zunino. Get up.
Oh, I love it.
Bottom of the third, no score. There's a good look at the treehouse. Not a real big crowd tonight, so people just relaxing. Should be a fun weekend. The Arizona Diamondbacks coming to town. Fireworks on Friday. He's celebrating great teams of the 70s all weekend long. So Ray, some of your old teammates will be here.
We won a couple big games in the 70s, didn't we?
Just don't use the word ode.
A couple of your former teammates.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, some good ones. Captain Sal is going to be here. That's looking forward to seeing Captain.
Season-long celebration.
Celebrated Dallas Braden's perfect game last homestand.
Segura handles a tricky little hop. Long throw, and they get Lucro.
Fans join the A's for the first of 5 community sandlot-style plastic bat and ball games starting June the 3rd from 9 to 11 a.m. at Brookdale Park in Oakland. Kids, adults, and families can play a pickup-style baseball game alongside the A's street team with A's goodies. A's Play Ball, presented by Sutter Health, encourages the community to come together to celebrate and enjoy the game of baseball. Learn more at athletics.com/community. It's a good idea. Got to let the kids play baseball and let them realize that it is a great game.
The best.
That's right.
Here's Franklin Barreto. There's the numbers in AAA. 235, 6 home runs. Jed Lowry is the designated hitter tonight, so Barreto playing second base.
Well, the A's knew that if Chris Davis did go on the disabled list, which he did, that they would have to bring up a position player. Because already, with so many relief pitchers and pitchers in general, you had a limited number of guys on the bench.
Andrioli in right field, and he struggles with it, and then right at the last minute, dives to his right and grabs it on the backhand. So the rookie, John Andrioli.
Now batting shortstop.
Well, I got it.
Number
Easy.
10, Marcus Semien.
Oh, Foss, there must be a swirl up there because you saw Piscotty and the way he had to go back, and that thing just kept carrying. Same thing here. A little bit of a, yeah. Well, yeah, I feel you.
See, I think as a player, you have to do what he just did, whether there's a wind or not. You got to do something like, oh, it's breezy. It's pushing it that way.
Pick up some grass and throw it.
Make sure there's a camera and it's pushing it that way. Be careful. It makes you, I just think it's something you have to do, right, Dallas? I mean, that's legit, right?
It never worked out for me. You see fielders, they look at their glove when they make an error. For me, I give up a homer and I look at my glove and I'm going, that doesn't really work out for me. That's only my fault.
At the Coliseum, they have the view quarters, and you look up and the flags are blowing a little bit, but it doesn't mean that the wind's not blowing, because it could come in, swirl around, and that's why the grass is all important. You throw the grass up, it's going to tell you which way the wind's blowing. And if you make a play like that and it goes straight down, then you're in trouble. 4 championship flags in center field. Of course, they're up so high at Mount Davis, they may never see wind. Might see seagulls.
3-1 pitch. Tapped slowly. Segura throws in time. Side retired. So that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Marco Gonzalez. Scoreless after 3.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Nice night, a little cool in the East Bay. Summer's going to get here at some point. I have full confidence that it's going to warm up.
Just like they're going to be 81 home games and 81 road games, right?
Pretty sure. Maybe this weekend's supposed to heat up a little bit. Heredia, Cruz, and Seager against Gossett here in the fourth. Just one hit allowed by Gossett. He has 4 strikeouts. And that one is line fair. Just fair. Rolls into the corner. Heredia to second, and he'll stop there with a double. Guillermo Heredia is going to get a chance to play, and he's been doing a pretty good job.
Now batting, number 23, Nelson Cruz.
What he's able to do is he's able to play, I don't want to call it second fiddle to Gene Segura, but he's able to sort of add as that double leadoff, and he's not hitting down at the bottom of the order, but it's that same type of punch, same type of speed, presence, bat to ball ability right behind Gene Segura, especially with a bopper like Cruz coming up behind him and Seager behind him. Very important to have that 1-2 punch at the top.
So Heredia, a leadoff double. Here's Nelson Cruz. First pitch is a strike. Now, Heredia last year played in 123 games, got 386 at bats, so played quite a bit last year, and he's going to end up playing quite a bit this year.
And Cruz is not the type of hitter who's going to be trying to hit a ground ball to the right side to advance the runner to third. If he hits one, it'll be hard to right field, and you just hope it doesn't leave.
We always hope that with Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, he's such a strong hitter, and again, power to all fields. We see him in Safeco Field, which really compared to the Coliseum, you think the ball doesn't travel as well. It's a little bit harder to hit home runs, but he goes line to line with his power. That's why they're playing it pretty much straight up.
He is definitely a threat. He's hit a lot of homers at the big league level. The farthest ball I ever seen him hit was off Jason Windsor about 8 years ago.
Should be deep enough. Heredia tags at second. Heredia has very good speed, and he will hustle over to third. So productive out, runner at third. Nelson Cruz has had a tough stretch. This was Saturday, and he hit right in the elbow.
He's got an elbow pad. You can hear it. Still stinging.
So now that was Saturday. He did not play Sunday, but to backtrack a little bit, on Tuesday he was hit by a pitch in the foot.
Yeah.
Didn't play till Friday, and then Saturday he got hit in the elbow. Yeah. So he's got a sore foot and a sore elbow, so he's not 100%.
And you see the elbow protection, and you could hear the thud. And he showed me yesterday, he said the day before he couldn't straighten his arm out. It was bent. I mean, he said it was so stiff. But give him credit because he's back in there today, and probably not 100%. And maybe good news for the A's, because that fly ball, he didn't really drive. He kind of lifted to right field, but definitely deep enough.
Seager bounces it, just foul. So Haniger's out tonight. Remember, he was hit by a pitch in last night's game. So Haniger is out, and of course D. Gordon, as we talked about last night, on the disabled list. We know Cano with the suspension. So the Mariners are a banged up group right now, but still winning. They've won 4 in a row, and they've won 6 out of 8. They're 28-19.
See Scott Service back on the bench tonight. Last part of the game, it was Manny Acta to his right, who was the manager when Service was ejected.
Simeon's got it. He juggles, drops it, throws to first, throws wide, run scores, and Seager's safe. Marcus was going to come home, and I think they would have had a play on Heredia.
He was going on contact. Heredia was, and you're right. Simeon to his left and started to throw with the transfer.
Number 27.
Pulled.
Ryan.
I mean, it just did not make the transfer, but that's what happens. You go on contact, and right there, the transfer. You can see the back part of it, but with Heredia going, it should be an RBI, and
It says fielder's choice E6.
All right, it's going to be an RBI. He's running on contact. You can't assume you're going to get him, so I would think it's going to be an RBI.
And that one is hit right center, hit pretty well. Canna on the warning track, and he makes the catch. So Healy hit that ball fairly well, but it's an out, and that's the second out. So let's see if Simeon would have had a play. This would be a good look here.
Yeah, I think he would have, because he comes on contact, and Simeon right there, he's got the ball, but the transfer, as he tried to maybe look at the same time making the transfer to his glove hand. But the intent, you would think, with the runner going on contact, the ground ball, that's the reason you play the infield in, to get the runner at the plate. But the fact that he was running, that's why I think it should be an RBI, because you cannot assume it's like a double play. I don't think you can assume that you're going to throw him out. But we'll hear what Mr. Duca says.
Yeah, he was indeed running.
Yeah.
As the replay just showed.
And most clubs, even with, I mean, I say most, I know the Angels and now, of course, the Mariners, we see they will do it almost all the time, even with the infield in.
Pinder backs up. Pinder has it, and a run for the Mariners. So bottom of the fourth coming up, 1-0 Seattle.
Of summer fireworks presented by Lagunitas. Clear your calendar. Be at the ballpark this Friday, May the 25th. That's against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Enjoy Oakland's best fireworks with a Star Wars twist. Visit athletics.com/Star Wars to get started. And if you like fireworks, this is the place to be. 7. First one is this Friday. 7 on the season, and they're all good. Star Wars is Friday. Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the first one.
Yeah. This is game 49. That's going to be game 51 by the time.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Pinder high and foul. Pinder, Lowry, and Chapman here in the bottom of the fourth. Pinder playing left field tonight. Well, both these teams will, or maybe just their announcers will, look up at the scoreboard. The Astros won today. And all these teams facing or chasing the Astros, of course. AL West. Astros beat the Giants 4-1. So Seattle right now 2.5 back. The Angels won tonight in Toronto, so they remain 4.5 back. And the A's, with that Astros win, the A's lose a half a game. They're now at 6 back. So that is the updated AL West. And again, that's a Houston win, an Angels win, and the Rangers won tonight. They had a wild one. They beat the Yankees 12-10. So Somebody here in this ballpark is going to lose ground tonight.
Right. But Justin Verlander beat the Giants today, and according to what I heard, 5-0 last year when they picked him up. He's won 6 this year and lost 2. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's impressive. He just cuts right through a lineup.
Just a great rotation.
And a leadoff walk. Good start for the A's here in the 4th. So second base runner, and that stops a stretch of 7 in a row retired by Marco Gonzalez.
Jed Lowry.
Here's Lowry, who had a base hit in the 1st. A's are 11-10 at home. So they get a chance to improve on that with this long homestand. Diamondbacks this weekend, and then the Tampa Bay Rays for 4 next week.
How about the Rays schedule? They were in Anaheim last weekend.
That's right.
They go home for a week, and let's go back out west. We like it so much out there. Of course, they played well against the Angels. But what a travel. I mean, it's down to South Florida.
Logging the frequent flyer miles.
Ooh.
But they don't get it on the charter.
That's right.
They just get to sleep and eat.
You get the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many times have you had somebody say that to you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you travel like, boy, you must get a lot of frequent
Yeah,
flyer miles.
right.
No, I don't.
That's right.
And that's okay. Because
I'd rather have the charter.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Down and in, 2-1 to Lowry.
That's why we appreciate everything Mickey Morbido does. He's director team travel for the A's. And that is a chore in today's world with the travel and with trying to organize everything. He's probably already set for 2019.
He's got a little extra work to do in 2019.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of extra work, actually, with the trip to Tokyo.
That's right. Konnichiwa, Mickey.
Well, speaking of that trip for the A's against the Mariners, well, Ichiro will be activated next year. He's now.
Something tells me yes. I don't know anything more than anybody else.
All I know is when he hit in the regular season game in Tokyo in 12, you could have turned out the lights, and there were enough flash bulbs, even on cell phones. There were enough flash that it did light up the entire stadium. But I have an idea that I have a feeling that Ichiro is going to be active.
Oh yeah.
I'd say that Hideo Nomo would be making the call on the TV.
Well, speaking of a big deal in Japan, did I see where Otani and Tanaka are going to pitch against each other this weekend?
That's right.
Did I see that correctly?
Yes, you did, and that is going to be a appointment
So
television.
that's in New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
There he is.
Yep, that's it there.
Well, his last at bat this year came against the Athletics.
3,000 hit. They keep showing it was a triple off the right field wall in Colorado. 3,000. Wait,
inside the park home run in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
2-2. Long look. And out full count. Chapman to follow.
well, right now what you're seeing out of Marco Gonzalez is somebody who has tried to slow the ball game down, and that hasn't necessarily benefited him, having trouble finding the strike zone, the leadoff walk. Here he finds himself in a full count to Jed Lowry.
Pinder runs, and the pitch is up and away. Back-to-back walks.
And Stoudemire Jr. is going to visit with him. But if you look at this game, that's twice. Pinder's had 3-2, Jed 3-2, Olsen 3-2. And then you had Simeon with a 3-1 count. So a lot of pitches. But the A's have been able to at least, well, they have 2 walks and 2 strikeouts after getting the 3-2 count.
Well, Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Oakland A's into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
Now batting third baseman, number 26, Matt.
Swipe right on Pinder.
That's right. Find yourself a match.
That's a new one. So here is Chapman, who lined out to Gamelin left. And a good pitch there by Gonzalez, right at the knees on the outside corner.
And that might have been a time to swing at the first pitch, because after walking two, both on 3 and 2, like Gonzalez just said, I'm going to get ahead. It's Captain America. Captain America.
Towards center, but right at Heredia. Tagging up is Pinder. He's going to try for third, and he's going to make it.
That's a great job, and if there's ever a time to tag, that was it with a line drive, or at least a fly ball if you don't think it's going to land.
Hard hit ball.
Jed Lowry took off from first base, and Pinder enough to get back quickly enough and tag Heredia by making a good throw, keeping the ball down, eliminated or prevented Jed Lowry from going to second base. And Chad Pinder's going to be thinking, thank you, I made it.
So first and third, one out, and here's Canna. Canna hit a fly ball to center field in the second. He'll take that here. First pitch is a breaking ball, inside corner strike.
The masked man is at it again. Good night last night. Had some great games against the Mariners this year.
A couple of hits last night, double. So hit by a pitch. And that one just a little bit inside. There you see what Ray mentioned earlier, Brian O'Nora, why he can fool you a little bit. He pretty, watch how he kind of stands up every pitch, and he looks like he wants to raise his right arm, and then he doesn't. And it's just the way he does it.
I know. He stands up like that, and that's why he fools the heck out of you, man.
He kind of stands up, and then he kind of turns his body toward the first base dugout, and it looks like he may be ready to ring you up. Watch.
Okay, here we go. Here's the pitch, and I'm going to peek around, and
he gets us every time.
He does. You know, it's really a cool move on his part, because he can do all of that. Hey, strike.
You know what? It gives him an extra tenth of a second to decide whether it's a strike.
Well, and then plus if he does that, he doesn't watch the catcher lift the ball out of the strike, from being almost completely out of the strike zone back into that box. Catchers can do that.
So 1 and 2. Canna trying to put it in play. And he got him swinging. A foul tip. Zunino caught it before it hit the ground. That's a big strikeout.
He goes with that curveball, tries to expand down out of the zone. Goes towards the back foot of Canna here. Canna looking to just touch it with 2. Breaking ball down and out. Canna comes up empty. Tough AB. It's a good pitch by Estrada there to go with the breaking ball.
You know the amazing thing about Brian O'Nora? You talk about peeking around a hitter.
He does.
Because he's protected by the catcher and the hitter. With the right-handed Canna, he was actually turning his head to the side.
I think he was the guy we talked about one time, how he
he's one
talks himself in me.
But he's smart for being protected. He's got a whole bunch of protection. Now he needs a 2 out here or a mistake.
Pinder at third, Lowry at first. And there's a strike outside corner. Olsen doesn't agree.
Well, the shifting him to the right with second baseman Beckham, the outfield grass. Take that outside pitch and just hit it to left field.
Skied toward left. Gamble comes in. And so a couple of walks, but the A's can do nothing with it. 5th inning coming up. NBC Sports California All-Star Teacher Program, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit NBCSportsCalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. Zunino goes after the first pitch, pops a foul back. Zunino, Andrioli, and Beckham. Zunino hit that ball over the wall in right field that Piscotti pulled back. Was leading off the third inning. Pretty good play.
The play he made in Boston, Fenway Park, where he came out and said, "I caught it." He could move his lips, and he did catch it after the challenge, showed it.
So Canna has it. Let's take a look at it again.
We talked about him being able to get back to the wall. Ball, does a great job of making sure he knows where he's at. And the rest is just pure athleticism taking over. Elevate, as I said, playing above the rim. And Goss, oh yeah, we like it. I got you back, brother.
So one away, and here's John Andrioli, just called up from the minor leagues. Andrioli is 27 years old. Originally with the Chicago Cubs, but signed as a free agent this past offseason. John Andrioli.
When you think about the injury with D. Gordon, space opening up in the outfield, opportunities. Andrioli, a guy they're going to rely on.
Oh, he's making his major league debut tonight. So this is a big deal for this young man.
Oh yeah, well, you've got both clubs here have experienced some ticky-tack injuries, some injuries that have question marks, obviously some other things that have kept guys out of the game that will keep them out of the game. So opportunities arise, you got to take charge.
And that one a little bit high. Could have been a strike.
Well, he comes out like it's a strike, but decides that I'm not going to call it. That was a strike, Mr. Onora.
And there's a line drive and a base hit to right field. John Andrioli has his first big league hit. Line drive to right field.
And in the press conference, he could say, I should have been called out on the previous pitch because it was a strike, but they got another opportunity and get a base hit the opposite field.
Now batting.
Got his fastball up in the zone.
Yep.
Got away with one, as you mentioned, Foss. Should have been strike three and headed back to the dugout. He lives to fight another pitch. Wouldn't you know it, he's on the board.
Here's Beckham. Beckham singled and stole the base in the third inning. Looking at Andrioli's minor league numbers, and he was in the minor leagues for 7 seasons plus this season. He had very good stolen base numbers, so that's something to watch for. Stole as many as 43. Actually, correction, he stole as many as 55 in the minor leagues.
As Ricky would say, that's a nice half season. But that's I mean, you have to get on base to steal the bases, and you can just see he looks like a base stealer, especially puts the protection on his right hand. The way he slides in, those fingers are protected.
Not running. And a swing and a miss. 0-2 to Gordon Beckham. On deck is Gene Segura. Foul ball This one second level.
And this here,
excuse me, Dallas, 67 pitches for Gossett.
when I was going to mention, Kai, this here is where, if you're Daniel Gossett, you really have to take those lessons you learned back in AAA and apply them here. How to fight through this at-bat, how to put a guy away. You don't want to continue to extend the at-bat. You're thinking about longevity through the ball game. Big out here, big at-bat.
Dallas, what did, I know you checked a little bit on what he was doing in the minor leagues. Any changes he was making down there? What were they?
Well, I talked to Rick Rodriguez, as I mentioned it. He was up to roughly around 20% changeup usage the last few times out, which is outstanding. And when you think about the success he had, it's playing off his fastball command, which is something that Rick had mentioned he had seen an increase of.
Coming in is Canna, and over a little bit toward left center field. So Beckham is out. Well, let's look, Dallas, and see what he's been throwing tonight. So not as many changeups, a lot of sliders.
Not as many changeups, but I think the byproduct of that is his ability, or the success he's had at this point, of moving that fastball around. He stayed out of the middle portion of the plate. He stayed out of the upper part of the zone, or the danger zone within the strike zone. So he's done a good job of moving that heater around and hasn't really needed to go to that secondary stuff.
So here is Segura.
I think he knows also what he did at AAA. When he comes here, he's got a catcher who is calling the game based on what the opposing team, in this case the Mariners, because Gossett left the A's in the early part of April. So that month and a half that he was down there, a lot of things have transpired. This is the third series the A's have had against the Mariners, 2 up there and 1 here. So you kind of go, you know, I mean, it's probably in the meeting too, you go over what you did to have success at the minor league level, but the bottom line, does that translate to this game and against this team? And usually the pitchers are going to go with Jonathan Lucroy.
Pitch is bounced to Chapman. Chapman has it, straightens up, throws across, and that'll do it. A 1-out hit, nothing else, and we are going to the bottom of the 5th. Mariners 1, A's nothing.
California is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store.
So 1-0, the Mariners lead. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. See if the A's can get something going. They had a shot in the 4th. 2-1 and nobody out. But Marco Gonzalez worked out of that jam. Piscotti, Lucroy, and Barreto here in the 5th. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 hit allowed so far for the left-hander Gonzalez. This one tapped to the right side. Beckham quickly to his left and throws out Piscotti. So Marco Gonzalez, not a lot of hard contact against Gonzalez. Chapman has hit a couple of line drives. 23 balls at 40 strikes. Gonzalez originally a St. Louis Cardinal. He was first-round draft pick of the Cardinals, but an interesting trade. Cardinals traded him to the Mariners last July for an outfielder by the name of Tyler O'Neill. And I believe Tyler O'Neill is one of the Cardinals' hot prospects. So maybe a good trade for both teams.
Good old-fashioned baseball trade.
Yeah.
Sure this isn't Tommy Malone pitching?
Tommy Malone.
Yeah.
Got a little Tommy Malone in him.
Yeah. A little craftiness.
Gonzalez pitched at Gonzaga University. Hey, there's Ryan Cook.
There he is, former teammate.
Good to see Ryan Cook. This one rolled to the right side. Almost the same play for Beckham.
Fans, the Harvey the Rabbit Backpack makes its debut this Saturday, May the 26th. That's against the Diamondbacks. First 15,000 fans get this giveaway. It's presented by Ross Dress for Less. Plus, the A's 50th anniversary season-long celebration continues with a special Swing and A's celebration, a dedicated to honoring the special teams from the 70s. Make sure you grab your tickets at athletics.com/tickets. And must say that with the center field camera tonight, Harvey the Rabbit's been smiling all night.
Has he?
Right behind home plate. See?
Oh, there he is.
There he is. He's smiling. And after Saturday, won't be smiling anymore. He may, but not back on that backstop.
Is that the way he looked when he handed you the baseball back in maybe 1970?
Nope.
You were sporting the Indians' all gray wool uniforms, spot-built spikes.
They were hot, too.
Black.
They were hot.
Stirrups, sanitaries.
Yeah, those.
Mask with just your baseball cap underneath.
That's right. And the mask, it was too short. It kept cutting my chin.
Sporting number 8 for the Tribe. Barreto hits it hard, but right to Seager. And Marco Gonzalez has an 8-pitch 5th inning, and we are moving to the 6th from the Coliseum. 1-0 Mariners. Is Guillermo Heredia leading it off. Cruz to follow, and then Seager. So third time through the lineup for Daniel Gossett. See how he fares. He's allowed just 3 hits and the 1 run.
And to Dallas's point, he may be breaking out some of those secondary pitches third time through the batting order. And unfortunately, there are statistics available that show what the batting average is. And sometimes guys don't get a chance to go through the order the third time.
Slowly hit. Gossett spins and fires, and they get the speedy Heredia 1 away.
That's a great job by Daniel Gossett. Cat-like off the mound. Not as easy as it might appear. Obviously a weakly hit ground ball, but this is to his arm side. He's not finishing that direction, so he has to dart over. He does a great job of sticking that foot in the ground, planting firm, as you'll watch here. He plants, boom, and drives this ball over to first base. Outstanding, fundamentally sound job by Daniel Gossett, fielding his position.
So 1 away. Here's Nelson Cruz.
Still say one of the big deterrents about the catcher and the visits to the mound, limited, that after a pitcher makes a play like that, exerts himself, he's got to regroup on his own. There's nobody now that can buy time by letting him catch his breath. Usually you see a catcher or an infielder go over and say, you know, just here to let you catch your breath a little bit. Not anymore, because it counts.
That's right, Vaughn. Well, this is where you learn those big league tricks, like if you're going over to cover first base, you get the ball back. Guess what just happened? Your shoe's untied.
Right. Yeah.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah.
You learn these things.
Yeah, whatever you can do.
Chapman handles a very hard hit ball, and that's the second out. So Cruz is 0 for 3, keeping him quiet. It's never easy for the A's.
And somebody said about Matt Chapman, why doesn't he just take his time and make a nice easy throw to save an arm? Well, he does it on Cruz because he knows Nelly does not run that fast, especially fouling the ball off his foot. But Chapman, once he makes the play, settles himself, makes sure he has a nice 4-seam grip, not the 2-seamer to throw a sinker, and kind of lobs it over to the very tall Meadows. Let this guy get out of town before he gets hot, because he's coming back and probably wants to play because he has very good numbers against the A's, whether in Seattle or here.
32 career home runs against the A's for Nelson Cruz. Quick 0-2 to Seager, who has struck out and reached on the fielder's choice. That was the play that got the A's a run. It was a fielder's choice E6, and Heredia scored. The Mariners up 1-0, I should say. Fastball up and away. And Seager did not get an RBI for that play.
Well, he will when the Mariners appeal it, and ever they send it back, and they realize that you can't assume an out on a force because it had to be a tag play, not a force, but a tag play.
2-2 the count. So you're thinking, well, it's okay. It's just 1 RBI. I mean, Seager's going to get a lot. Well, you know what? In 2016, you know how many RBIs Kyle Seager had?
Probably 99.
99.
Yep. Hadn't seen the century mark.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
right.
He has not.
That's right.
He's gotten close.
Yep.
He's had terrific seasons.
So who do you think is going to be calling and appealing to Major League Baseball to take a look at the play?
Yeah.
And in reality, I mean, sure, it's an unearned run, which means for Daniel Gossett, you know, it's an unearned, but in reality, it's like the double play. You cannot assume a double play, and that's why guy, even the bobble, whatever, the guy's giving an RBI.
3-2 pitch is fouled straight back.
I'll tell you, even as a pitcher, Foss, knowing that it's unearned, hey, I'll give it to you. Give the man his stake.
Yeah.
Give him his RBI.
Yeah.
Doesn't count against me.
Yeah.
So good battle here. Pitch number 84 in the game coming up, and another roller foul.
When you see there, they went with the 3-2 changeup. That's something that I also talked to Rick Rodriguez about, the pitching coach in AAA Nashville, and he said he's throwing the changeup at any time as well. So when you're able to do that, create unpredictability about yourself.
Another foul ball.
And another changeup.
You know, that may be something too that in the meeting with the catcher Jonathan Lucroy and Daniel Gossett, and you know, could have said, hey, I'm not opposed to throwing a changeup, because you know yourself, Dallas, and you had a great changeup that catcher calls it. You don't think about, wow, I can't throw that.
Right.
You don't, no negative thoughts in your mind. You just do it.
That pitch may have been ball four, but Seager just trying to cover it.
I think a lot of times if a pitcher can look in and a catcher calls a particular pitch, and pitcher's got to be thinking, he has confidence in me to throw that pitch, I want to throw it, and no hesitation. So it's that feeling, and like Sean Manaea said of the no-hitter, said I didn't have anything to think about. It just.
And that one tips off the glove of Barreto, and Seager's going to have a base hit after a very long at bat. Seager hung in there, fouled off a whole bunch of pitches,
especially with the shift, and he did beat it. Got a fastball. It's one of those, just kind of put the guy, do something, just get me out of this, throwing all these pitches. So Jonathan Lucroy does go out to visit, and maybe to tell him, made some good pitches. Seager did a good job fouling them off.
So hit number 4 for Seattle, and that'll bring up Healy. Healy, a strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Healy was 1 for 4 last night, so 1 for 6 in the series. Roll to the right side.
11-1.
There you go. So Healy's retired, and so are the Mariners. Bottom of the 6th coming up.
Clara is a perfect place to host your next meeting, event, or convention. Get started by contacting the Santa Clara Convention and Visitors Bureau at santaclara.org/meetings.
Bottom of the 6th, the A's will have their top of their order. 6 in a row retired by Marco Gonzalez. He's looking for his 4th win of the year. The first pitch is a strike. Not a hard thrower. Crafty.
Frustrating.
Frustrating. Couple of ground balls to short by Marcus Semien. I guess if Gonzalez is pitching, and if you're hitting a lot of ground balls to short and third, that's good for him, bad for you, because that's exactly what he wants you to do.
Rolling over.
And Marcus has done that twice.
And you know, you say, oh, I got to stay back, but it's just that human nature. You start your swing and try to make an adjustment when you're doing it. But he has been. Dallas, as a pitcher, did you ever just to yourself laugh at hitters?
Yeah, honestly, yes.
I mean, you know, because you know you see them doing things, you go, boy, I got him.
See what they're going to call here. They're going to say foul ball.
Yeah, I can actually remember a game. See here, Simeon on the check. Just off the handle, right in the pine tar area of that nice Marucci piece. Here, Simeon clears it with him. No, I'm all right. But I remember a game in Tampa against the Rays. I think it might have been 2009. Had a good changeup going, and I was kind of digging myself, and I turned one over. I think I threw about a 66-mile-an-hour screwball to Ben Zobrist, and I was starting to walk off the mound before the catcher even caught it. And I can remember audibly saying to myself, "That's a screwball, Ben. Good luck." And I was in no position to be that cocky every day of my career. On every 5 days, I thought I was really good. So that was kind of the mentality that I was going out there with. But yeah, you know, at times I joke around with the pitchers and say you don't want to give too much credit to these hitters. That's because right. They have an approach that they're looking to stick with, you know. And if you execute, you can beat them.
Well, that's why we always say in the interleague play, when American League pitchers hit, they realize that hitting's not easy. Oh. You know, and they get up to face somebody and they go, wow, that's how hard it is. And I'm giving these guys all this credit, think that they could do this all the time. You know, this guy didn't overpower. Catfish didn't overpower guys. But he got the job done. He was a crafty right-hander.
He was a crafty Hall of Famer.
That's right. Yeah. But he did what Gonzalez did, but from the right side. He was sneaky.
Yeah, they call those guys master craftsmen.
That's right.
That's who that is.
But it was funny, the A's getting back from this long road trip. Steve Vucinich uses the number 27 as his bag tag. And somebody said, that number's retired. Who's got that number? I said, the man.
Boost.
The man who appreciated the cat as much as anybody.
Two and two the count. Pitch number 78 coming up by Gonzalez. Inside. Yeah, so when we go on our road trips, everybody's suitcase, the players, nice green and gold tag that Voos hands out. Yeah. And for the players, it has their number on it, so they know easy to grab your bag. And for us, it just has our initials on it.
Right. But I think
it's a little bit easier.
I think Mickey used number 1 before Barreto came. And Billy Martin, and of course Voos with Catfish number 27. The equipment manager, you can do anything you want to do. And if you've been around as long as Voos has, over 50 years, only here in Connie Mack.
Yeah, you got a picture of you and Joe D in the office. You go right on ahead.
That's right. Colonel Sanders. Voos looked like he's about 4.
Segura, a couple steps to his right, shows off a good arm, and Marcus Simeon grounds out to the shortstop for the 3rd time. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Same long at bat as Seager, but the result was not the same.
Left fielder.
I think it was Marcus Simeon in Houston had about an 18-pitch at bat against Doug Fister a few years back, his first year.
Pinder walked in the 4th. He ended up getting to 3rd, but was stranded. First pitch, a swinging strike.
Speaking of interleague play, Dallas, who was your first pitcher that you faced?
Oh, Foss, I'd rather not talk about
please.
that.
His name's Kershaw?
That's right. You know it. That big southpaw kicking and snarling, staring at me. Yeah, you want me to, hold on, what gags? Did I see that right? You bunt? You want me to turn around and stick my face in front of 95 from the left side first time around?
That's
yeah,
right.
This should be fun. I tell you what, if I'd have swung, it'd have been a double. I bunted a 2-hopper to the 3rd baseman.
You know, that's like Dustin Fowler was facing Rollos Chapman in New York with 1st and 2nd and squared around a bunt. I wouldn't do that.
No, that's not fun.
No. and fortunately throw a wild pitch. And oh, by the way, here's a pinch hitter Pinder. You know, good. But yeah, that's not fun. And that's why, you know, they talk about sacrificing a lost art. Well, you think about turning around and facing a pitcher, and if you square around, the guys will turn kind of sideways. But if you square around, it's a tough thing to try to do.
Oh, you're staring 93, 94 with life right in the face.
And you hope he has good control.
Oh, I was anticipating becoming one of those internet memes, you know, waiting for that curveball to come, and I was going to dunk and turn around and drop my bat, and it was going to be strike 3.
I did that with Nolan Ryan all the time. It was not. I just prayed, dear Lord, don't let him hit me. 0 for 4. I don't care, because that curveball comes in my head, I'm out of here. You know, I don't care if it's a strike or not.
Pinder tries to hold up. He cannot do it, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Marco Gonzalez.
Marco started these hitters off with the soft stuff, as we've started to see Gossett do this third time around. Expands the heater late, changing the eye level. So nice pitcher's duel tonight between the two on the mound, Gossett and Gonzalez.
Gonzalez now at 85 pitches. Last night, the Mariners bullpen 3 1/3 innings. Good innings, did not allow any runs, had 4 strikeouts. It was Pazos, Vincent, and the closer Diaz that pitched last night. Nicasio is their setup man. Scott Service, if things fall into place like a manager always hopes he does. He's got Pazos and Zabzinski, the 2 left-handers, if he needs a big out against a left-handed hitter. Then Vincent, Nicasio, and Diaz for the late innings. Line drive, base hit left field. So Jed Lowry, another good night, 2 singles and a walk.
Well, I think this all starts with the Marcus Semien at bat, getting deep into the count, fighting and grinding, taxing Marco Gonzalez. Jed Lowry continuing to put together professional at bat after pro AB. Delivers here. Got the A's in business with 2 outs.
So hit number 2. Or the Athletics see if they can get him around. Here's Chapman. Chapman swings at the first pitch, drives one down the right field line, but foul.
2 at-bats already, but Matt Chapman have been very good. Balls hit very hard, and you just like to sometimes feel great about the pitcher you're facing. And while there have been 2 outs for him, line drive to left, line drive to center. Guy's got a souvenir. Who got it?
Lefty.
Speaking of
digging, lefty out of the bullpen.
Speaking of digging yourself.
Yeah.
Lowry runs. The ball's bounced to Segura, the shortstop. Throw is low, but Healy digs it out, and that will do it. So check it out, boys. This is our guy. Yeah. 2009, Jason Giambi hits his 400th career home run. The A's DH goes deep off Dan Herron, leading off the fourth inning. An 8-7 loss against Arizona became the 44th major leaguer to reach that milestone. 400 career home runs. Jason Giambi, his return to the A's, came back.
And you know what I thought, Kai? And it tells you what happens when you go to Yankee Stadium, which he did. It's the double-barrel Dahl and Coulomb loosening. But when Jason played here before he went to New York, he hit the ball to left field as well as anybody I've ever seen. Power to the opposite field. Yet when he went to New York with a short porch in right field, he adjusted his swing to do that. So when he came back, he couldn't hit the ball in left field. It just changed completely.
And that's funny you mentioned that, boss, because when he came back, he actually came back bearing gifts, and he had T-shirts for everybody. And I love this. The T-shirts basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, "To heck with the shift, death from above."
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, remember it well. It was Dan Herron to right field and gone. Number 16 still.
Now batting, number 3.
The Giambino.
Omar Garcia Parr, saw Jack Custom dug out a whole bunch of different guys.
So Jack Hanahan in the dugout.
I think I saw a Travis Buck sighting.
right.
Oh, man. That was quite a season. Because that was, what was that? Was that the year that Piazza was here? No.
No
That was
more.
They would not have all been there the same year. Matt Holliday.
For a short amount of time.
OC, Orlando Cabrera. You know, it is amazing to me to think about, you know, guys that have these long storied careers that get to play with some of the greats, and I sit back and think, I strapped it on with a guy like Mike Piazza, Nomar, Frank Thomas, Jason Giambi, and obviously in the twilight of their careers, but nonetheless to be able to share a clubhouse and, for me, share a bench and a dugout with those guys and pick the brains of these Hall of Fame caliber players. What a what a time, what a memory for me to take.
0-2 to Zunino. Inside. Hey, think about Frank Thomas coming to that 2006 team.
Yeah.
We know he had a great year, and it was a sensational year. But I think he added a lot more to that team than just his numbers. All of a sudden, you got Frank Thomas hitting like he was hitting in Chicago.
Well, you had Swisher and Milton Bradley.
It's a good team.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, you didn't have. That's the thing, is we didn't have Frank Thomas. We had the Big Hurt.
That's right.
That's
right.
exactly who was here.
He was a
in
little
Oakland.
banged up right before the couple years in Chicago, and
Sure.
Well, then he spun that great year into a couple-year contract with Toronto too. You know, with hitting the home runs. Of course, Hall of Fame career went in, and I think he mentioned every player he ever played with in his induction speech. Rapid fire.
could be a Frank Thomas fan right there.
And it was the great Hawk Harrelson who gave him the nickname Big Hurt.
Sure.
And Hawk is in his final season.
One of the greats.
Gamble dives back.
I'd had a longer career if I had not had to throw batting practice to Hawk. So he'd say, let's go to the backfield out at High Corbett.
Great idea, Hawk.
Yeah.
Just caught 12 innings.
He liked those catchers with the four-seamer that we talked about, you know, not the little two-seam sink.
2-2 now to Zunino with Andreoli in the on-deck circle and action in the A's bullpen. Showed you Coulomb and Dole. Man, that is a swing and a miss. So Gossett gets his 5th strikeout, his first strikeout since the 2nd inning.
He's continued to battle, he's continued to get ahead, and this is what allows him to go to this soft stuff, especially late in the count as well. He can establish it early for strikes, goes back to it. He's done a good job of moving the heater around, as we talked about earlier throughout the game, and here he does a great job of throwing this pitch with depth. It would have been a strike anyway.
No one away. Here's Andrioli.
And I think the skipper would love to see him get through this inning, as Cahill did last night. Mingden did it on Sunday. Manaea 5 on Saturday, and so with the off day, but also would give him a chance if the A's could come back and score and maybe take the lead and give him the win after 7 strong. But he's at 99. It's just a matter of, well, it's going to come down to what he does with each batter.
Gamble got a good jump. Pitch out Lucroy's throw. And the ball rolls away from Barreto. And Gamble's going to be aboard. Or Gamble's going to have a steal, I should say.
Wow.
Close play if Barreto would have been able to hang on to it.
Well, Bob Melvin made the call, and Barreto with the throw right there, he just missed it. I mean, he'd had him plenty, but the ball in his glove and out. But if the umpire does not make the call, which I don't think he did, then it's going to be a stolen base. If he had called him out and then safe, that would have been an error. But great pitch out, and we saw Jonathan Lucroy on the road with a great pitch out. I think that was in Toronto. Or no, it was Betts in Boston. And he got a huge lead, but throw him out with a perfect throw.
A little flare could be trouble. Piscotty makes a sliding catch. Well, that's another run saved by Piscotty.
Absolutely. And this is a tough call because you know you have to make the play, otherwise it's going to scoop past. He makes it to the side, pops up, and keeps the runner at second base. And yes, a great play going down on the slide, and there are times you do, times you don't, and that's the time when you know it's a run. Although probably Gamble can't get the big jump, but a tremendous play again. So he robs one over the fence, goes to the slide, the dive, and robs another one. And Goose looks like he's going to get a chance at least to try to finish it with Beckham if he can get him out.
Beckham a single and a fly ball to center field. Beckham takes a strike.
But I think this time when you know what the pitch count is, but it's adrenaline now. You see guys in the 9th inning like Mingden did in Philadelphia last year in September. That was adrenaline. And for Gossett, he knows it probably is batter to batter. And let the adrenaline take over. Forget about the number of pitches that you see on the board.
Well, what this can do for the psyche right now, Foss, over the century mark, just coming up from AAA, it's pretty well documented. You've had struggles at the big league level. You're looking to take control of an opportunity right now. 7th inning, 1-run ball game, runners in scoring position. This is right now. This is the time for Daniel Gossett to put a stamp on his outing.
0-2 to Beckham. Hit toward Piscotty, another long run. Piscotty into foul territory. He's got enough room, and he makes the catch, and the Mariners do not score. 7th inning stretch time coming up from the Coliseum. 1-0 Seattle.
Sports California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads, Redwood Train, Beach Train. Whichever way you go can't go wrong at Roaring Camp Railroads.
1-0, bottom of the 7th inning. The A's trailing. Daniel Gossett, terrific outing. Now the A's would like to get him a couple runs and maybe a chance for a victory. Marco Gonzalez back out there. He'll face Canna, Olson, and Piscotti.
Well, it's great to see Daniel Gossett, of course, appreciating the great effort by Stephen Piscotti in right field. He waited on the warning track in front of the dugout to congratulate him and thank him as big man Lou Trevino, 3 strikeouts last night in the 8th inning. Looks like he's got the 8th again. This is the time you'd like as an offense to get a run or two for a pitcher who's pitched as well as Daniel Gossett did tonight. That man saved a couple. Stephen Piscotti.
1-1 to Canna. Change up, but squirts out of the hand of Gonzalez. 2-1 the count.
I'm sure Daniel Gossett will be taking out Piscotti on the road for a nice steak dinner when it comes time.
Might not have to go out, just let him go to the clubhouse. They got enough food down there, man. That's good spreads now.
And that one called a strike. Probably wasn't. Looked like it was about 6 inches off the plate. So 2-2 the count. Canna, a fly ball to center and a strikeout. That one just a little bit low.
But you see how Zunino, how he brings the ball up. That ball was about a little bit above the ankles, but Zunino does a good job. Watch how he brings the ball up. Watch this, catches, and watch where he ends up with the pitch. Boom. Just in case the umpire looks late. But I mean, that's what catchers do. They take it from down and bring it up.
And a swing and a miss. 88 miles an hour. Strikeout number 6. Well, Authentic Fan Fridays are back, and now they're in the A's Treehouse, which is behind Section 234. This Friday, the first 500 fans that show up get an Authentic Fan A's Mania no-hitter t-shirt. Giveaway starts at 6 p.m. Then stick around for the pregame show, which will be out in the Treehouse. All fans can pick up one of our Collector Series cheer cards. This week it is Sean Mania. Details, log on to NBCSportsCalifornia.com. Olson is retired on the ground ball to first.
Well, we see that Lou Trevino is loosening up, but Nicasio, you'd have to figure if these two guys, well, Gossett's gone 7, Gonzalez, he goes 7, and it might be the rest of the game of the bullpen. That's dull. Who's now joining Trevino again. So remember, Trevino last night pitched and pitched well for the 1 inning with the 3 strikeouts.
So 2 away for Piscotti. Piscotti has saved 2 runs. So he's a +2 right now.
Yes, he is.
With the bat in his hand, he has struck out and grounded out. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Gonzalez about to throw pitch number 100. Scotty tries to hold up, and he did.
Got a break. A lot of body. Let's see if the body goes forward, and that's why appeal. If I were a home plate umpire, I would never say call it myself. I'd say let somebody else do it. But that doesn't happen.
I agree with you.
Zunino sets up right in the outside corner. A breaking ball lined into the seats. 2-2. That is Ryan Cook throwing in the Mariners bullpen. A's with just 2 hits in the game. A couple of walks by Gonzalez, so they've had a total of 4 base runners. And that one is drilled toward right. But getting over there is Andrioli, and he reaches up, makes the catch. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down inning for Marco Gonzalez. Still 1-0 Seattle.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So still 1-0. Mariners leading the A's. It's the 8th inning. Beautiful look at the Bay Bridge. Marco Gonzalez is probably done for the evening. Daniel Gossett is done. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts, as Dahl comes in.
Well, it looked like with Trevino loosening as well as Dahl gets the call, and maybe Trevino, if the A's had tied it. Ryan Dahl and Trevino in that 8th inning spot.
1-1 to Segura. Gene Segura is 0 for 3. 3 groundouts, twice to third and once to short. Slider that was foul back. First place, Astros beat the Giants earlier today. Verlander over Samardzija. So the Astros have now won 6 out of their last 7. They are 32-18. Verlander now 6-2. His ERA is 1.08. That's lower than Bob Gibson's ERA.
That's right.
In 1968?
68, 1-1-2. It said it's lower the mound.
Yep. Got to make it easier on him.
The Angels, a big night in Toronto. They were trailing 4-1 going to the 9th inning. They scored 4 in the 9th off of
Tyler
Clippard.
Yep. Wasn't a grand slam, was it?
I don't think so.
Oh.
So the Angels beat the Jays, stunned the Jays. They win that game 5-4 in Rogers Center.
Listen, they got stunned on Saturday.
That was the stunner, and I think tonight
this is Wednesday,
too.
yeah. So a couple of stunners within about 4 days.
So the Angels with that win, 27-22. So they hold ground with the Astros at 4.5 back.
There you are with another win on the road.
Yeah, that's true. Good call. 15-5 now on the road, the Angels.
Now the A's were trailing by 1 run in Boston, and Bogarts hit a 3-run home run, and that kind of changed it. Similar situation, trailing by 1 here, and they got to keep it at 1. A couple of opportunities left to try to come back and win this game.
Hit pretty well toward Canna in right center, but Mark is back there, and he makes the catch.
Well, guys, we usually like to talk about StatCast in a positive light. Here, I've got some questions for Stephen Piscotty. 82 feet covered, 90% catch probability.
Disagree.
That means everybody, just about 90% of the people that were going to make this catch, they could have made it.
Disagree.
Now here, 62 feet distance covered, 82% catch probability. He lays out ball in front of him, makes a tremendous. You mean to tell me that 82% of the people playing baseball could have caught that ball? I don't know.
That's a bogus stat.
I don't know.
Huh? Let's get rid of it.
Is he playing these things into web gyms out there?
No, those are, you know, there was a guy in left field with the Mariners that made a diving catch on a ball that could have hit him in the chest.
Yep.
You know, and he wouldn't, the probability on that was probably 1%. But no, Stephen Piscotty, he made 2 plays, and in the way they kind of grade whoever wins a Gold Glove, he should win a Gold Glove just on 2 plays tonight. If you're looking at, well, you can't look at StatCast. That's probably a negative. Probably say he doesn't deserve anything. But those 2 plays plus the one in Boston, 3 plays that the probability. I'm sorry, it just is. It's not going to be that high.
Oh, that hits Dahl. He picks it up, then kind of falls over, and boy, let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, I do. Uh-oh.
That's his glove hand.
Yeah. I wonder if he got it on the back of the hand. Could you tell, Dallas?
Couldn't tell from here. It looked like, I mean, they're checking the top of it. He's checking the fingers. I feel like he might have caught it on the back of those fingers, or maybe even on that palm.
Well, the way his hand was shaking, you'd think it'd be the back of the hand through the glove, but wow. And
Coulomb, who has been warming up.
Looks like on the palm is probably where he got it. Yeah, you see there
right.
towards the pinky, maybe the heel side of his glove hand. You can see him as he's throwing his warm-up pitches right now, guys. He's flexing that glove, just making sure he can kind of squeeze it. And you see there, that's exactly what it was.
And most guys have the palm of the hand usually is not covered up by the glove. It sticks out a little bit. The glove kind of down on the hand a little bit.
Now batting, number 23, Nelson Cruz.
So he is going to stay in the game, and that is good news.
Very good news.
Yeah.
Scary situation, especially when you think about the hits the rotation has taken recently.
Well, he's had a knee problem last year, a shoulder problem this year, and gotten through those, able to pitch again, and a very important part of the back end of the bullpen for the A's.
First pitch to Cruz, and it goes all the way into the stands. That's
that a wild pitch?
That's a wild pitch. That is a wild pitch.
I don't know. We have to get it from an official score.
Watch where this one lands.
He got some leather on that, Foss.
It goes up over the net and into the seats.
I don't know that I've seen a ball climb up over the backstop here.
That was leather plus an arm plus a helmet, maybe.
It's an issue for the A's. 35th wild pitch this year, most in the big leagues. So 1-0 the count to Cruz. Seager to follow. Slider on the outer half, and Cruz fouls it straight back. 1-1 the count. Rangers beat the Yankees 12-10 in Arlington.
Nice pitcher's duel.
The Yankees led 10-5 in that game in the 5th inning, and Rangers came storming back. Cruz with that open stance, kind of dives into the ball, fouls it straight back. Judge hit a home run for the Yankees, his 13th of the year. Gregorius hit his 11th. Gleyber Torres, the fine young second baseman, hit his 8th for the Yankees. But not enough. A win for the Rangers. Again, they're now 20-31. 1-2 pitch. Cruz watches that one drop down and away.
When you mention it, Kype, you can see him diving out over the plate, looking for that soft spinner away. I like the idea of running this one back in underneath those hands for Cruz. If you're going to beat him in, you got to beat him in, off, potentially see if you can chase him in there. Looks like they'll probably stay away.
Croy. Slide outside, and he makes a good pitch to Dull. Right on the outside corner, gets the strikeout.
Well, a hard slider, and Cruz flails at it, but Dallas, good point about making a stake inside though with him. It's nasty.
So Coulombe coming in to face Seager. We'll have that matchup when we come back. Awareness Day is this Sunday for the 105 Start versus the Diamondbacks, presented by Sutter Health. From now through the start of that game, A's fans are encouraged to use the 5x7 stickers available at the community corner to share stories of their loved ones who have been affected by breast cancer. Learn more at athletics.com.community. So that is always a big day here at the Coliseum, and that will be this Sunday. So look forward to that. Mariners looking for an insurance run. The A's trying to keep it right where it's at. As Coulombe to face Seager with Heredia is the runner at second base. First pitch to Seager, a slider for strike.
Well, you're right. So many times we've seen the insurance run. You keep it at one, it changes everything. As Danny Coulombe, no save opportunities, but he has done a very good job. The lone lefty out of the bullpen. Ryan Buchter is starting a throwing program this week. Probably have to go out on a rehab assignment.
Hard slider, and this time Seager tried to check, couldn't do it, as they checked with Brian Knight, and he says that Seager went around.
He did.
Yep.
Good block by Jonathan Lucroy. And again, home plate umpire deferring to a base, third base umpire, first base umpire.
We saw that note on the Oakland A's 35 wild pitches leading all of baseball. I can tell you the number of blocks between Lucroy and Maxwell. Probably a high number as well.
I can tell you exactly if you want to know.
I'm into it, boss. I'm into it.
0-2 to Seager. Big out to get. And he did. Hard slider, and Seager strikes out. Nice job by Danny Coulombe. Bottom of the eighth coming up. Lucroy Barreto, Simeon, 1-0 Seattle.
Of the Oakland Athletics. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Lots of zeros tonight. Mariners 1-5-0. The Athletics 0-2-1. Gonzalez went 7. Gossett went 7. And the only run in this game, actually, Ray, it's an unearned run.
So far.
That was in the 4th inning. So the new pitcher is Juan Nicasio.
He's their 8th inning guy. He has had his struggles, at least against the A's in the early part of the season. A couple of times he faced him, gave up home runs.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So that is one of the reasons the ERA is so high, as Ray mentioned, 5.82. One and one the count to Lucroy with Matt Joyce waiting in the on-deck circle. So looks like Joyce is going to hit for Barreto. Lucroy has grounded out to short and grounded out to second. There's a strike in the outside corner. Nicasio is a big guy, 6'4", 255.
Kind of reminds a little bit of Kenley Jansen of the Dodgers, the way he throws. Jansen, of course, 100% cutters.
From the Dominican Republic. 2 pitches down and away, and now full count. Terrific outing for Marco Gonzalez. 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a season high 102 pitches.
I would be smiling too with an outing like that. He was very good.
Casio looking in. The payoff pitch to Lucroy. Here it is. And that one's driven toward right center field. Andreoli dives in. He caught it. Heck of a play by Andreoli, especially at this point in the game.
Wow.
So his major league debut, he got his first big league hit earlier, and that was a great play.
And off for right-hander's bat, it's going to slice back, see it slice back a little bit. And you'd like to get more of a hook, but it sliced right back into the right fielder, Andreoli, and outstanding play. He had the center fielder backing up, but this was all him. Caught it behind him.
He'll take it.
Pitchers.
So here's Matt Joyce.
But you have to give credit, because if you can have an outfield that can chase down fly balls like that, balls that might be in the gap for extra bases, instead they're outs, you're definitely going to be happy.
You talk about them missing D. Gordon, the man who was playing center field for them. Thought about him maybe coming in to play second base with the departure of Cano for 80 games. You know what kind of impact he's going to have out there. Speedster in the minor leagues, still 50 bags, I believe.
Yeah, we think he's a good outfielder after the play he just made. We don't know much about him, but Andrioli can play in the outfield. Would have been a double, maybe a triple. Yep. So 1-2 to the pinch hitter Joyce, who's hitting for Barreto. Some numbers on the Mariners bullpen. ERA at 2 since May 10th. And part of that is Nicasio, who's settling in that setup role. Diaz, the closer, is very good.
Well, the biggest home run he gave up was to Jed Lowry in the James Paxton 16 strikeout game. It was Lowry's 2-run home run that tied it. Then showed Canis home run off Diaz last night, where he got the lead.
That one is hooked into right, and that is a base hit.
Catch that one.
You talked about trying to get that head out in front. Here, Matt Joyce gets that ball outside. Does a good job of getting around it. You see there with the one hand, the top hand just sort of flicks it and lets it go. Lets the bottom hand do the work. Was able to knock it in. Mariners playing deep. Want to keep the ball in front of him. You can see Nicasio not excited about it. Got to finish that pitch. Matty Joyce takes advantage of something up in the zone.
So now a pinch runner as Fowler comes in for Joyce. And the top of the order comes up. Marcus Semien. First pitch to Marcus. Outside.
I like the hole on the right side for Marcus Semien, because he will take a shot at the right side. Seen him do it, saw him do it last night. And it's not intentional. I mean, it's not accidental. It is intentional. If you pitch him outside, he'll go with it, kind of drag the bat through the zone.
Line foul. Fowler, terrific speed at first. Pazos, the left-hander, is throwing out in the Mariners bullpen.
Fowler's good speed. Nicasio, I feel like at this point in time, is looking like a 1-2, 1-3 to home.
Well, would the A's give a stolen base a shot here?
Well, 1-1-1-1-2 is pretty good. And Zunino throws well. What is it, Dallas? About 1-3, 1-5. You're okay to go?
Yeah. That's why I figured if he was in the 1-2-5, 1-3 range with Fowler's speed, it might be a time to put the game in motion. You talk about the hole on the right side.
Fowler runs. Zunino's throw. Got it.
A flat-footed throw. And they're going to hang on and take a look at this one. But if this is an out, Zunino just may watch. No, he's thinking he got his right foot in before they tagged him in the chest. 8th inning. Take a chance. And it's Brian O'Nora going over to say, Bob Nillman, what are you going to do? And that's Adam Roden. Let's go. And they're going to take a look at it. And why not? It is the 8th inning. And that's a big bag. But Zunino caught the ball flat-footed and threw to second. And check the right foot. Does it catch the bag before the tag on the midsection? And that's what they're looking at.
And I feel like that tag, I feel like Beckham got the tag down on Fowler's chest. I don't think the A's are going to come out on top on this one.
Well, you know, the definitive part is no longer in effect, I don't think. Because we saw too many on the road where you'd say that it was definitive.
Oh, he tagged him right there.
Tagged him there, yeah. But you know what? You got to take a chance. It is the 8th inning, and that's a big play. But if we get a chance, we're showing the back end. But you watch Zunino. I mean, we've seen guys throw from their knees. He threw flat-footed.
Yeah, and he had a backhand the ball too.
Backhand, and just he didn't do a little crow hop, which they do. Call them out. Yeah.
So the call stands. And a heck of a play by the catcher Zunino. You got to give credit there.
Call on the field is
Just the
confirmed.
tag of the jersey right there. And the foot is not to the bag yet.
And you can see Fowler trying to slide to the outfield side of second base in an effort to avoid that tag.
And the one thing Fowler does, he slides feet first. We saw him in Toronto, and he was thrown out there, and it looked like good speed, head down, good sprinter speed, leaning forward. But as he approached second, he slid. And watch Zunino. This is a great play. Backhands. Wow. I mean, he just
almost short-armed it too a little
exactly.
bit.
I mean, it's just get rid of it quickly, and he happened to make an accurate throw, and that's why he is one of the better catchers in baseball, at least in the American League we see often.
And then a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, and just like that, the inning is over for the Athletics. Ninth inning coming up, still 1-0 Seattle. Cool night here at the Coliseum when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts, as Santiago Casilla comes in. So Casilla making his 15th appearance. And he's going to face Healy. First pitch to Healy is up and in. So here's the moves. Canada left, Fowler to center, and then Pinder moves from left field to second base. Healy is 1 for 7 now in this series. 1 for 4 last night, 0 for 3 tonight. Diaz, the closer, starts to warm up for the Mariners. Right there, first strike, 2-1 to count. So a day game tomorrow. Final game of the series before a weekend against the Diamondbacks. There's a line drive and a base hit to left field for Healy. So 12:35 first pitch tomorrow. Our coverage starts at 12 with A's pregame live. And check out who's starting for the Athletics, Ray. It's Josh Lucas. Yep. Josh Lucas, I believe it was Friday, right? In Toronto, he came in out of the bullpen through 50 pitches. He was very good.
He not only came out of the bullpen, he hurried to the bullpen to throw and then came into the game because he just landed.
He still had his plane ticket in his back pocket, I think. But he pitched very well, and the A's need somebody tomorrow, and they're going to give the ball to Lucas. So look forward to that.
Getting a chance to sit on the bench instead of down in the bullpen.
Sitting there talking to Bruce Maxwell, man who might catch him tomorrow.
I think that is a given. Jonathan Lucroy said he had tomorrow off. It is a day game after a night game, and figure lefty Gonzalez pitched tonight, so it was Lucroy starting, right-hander. Tomorrow, King Felix, pretty good right-hander.
Yep. Decent player.
So that's the matchup tomorrow.
And that's why this inning is important to put up a goose egg and try to have a miraculous comeback at the bottom of the ninth against Edwin Diaz. A 1 run. Remember, he had a 1-run lead. Actually, it was a tie game up in Seattle. Gave up the home run to Canna, but gotta throw strikes here.
So 3-0 the count. Diaz is pretty much ready. Doesn't take him real long to get loose. The 3-0 pitch is low. So a base hit and a walk to open up the top of the ninth. And Zunino will hit.
And I don't think he's going to be bunting, okay? Not with the way he's been swinging the bat.
Well, it's interesting. He is indeed a major home run hitter. But as I say that, Ray, the Seattle Mariners lead the American League in sacrifice hits.
Well, this would be a good time to do it. And he's, you know, even though he's a home run hitter, he shows last night with this shot off of Trevor Cahill that tied the game at 2. But, you know, logically, it's a bunt situation because they're up by 1 and have a chance to put 2 runners in scoring position. What I'd like to see is him swing the bat and hit a ground ball double play, 6-4-3. But triple play, sure, why not? Chapman doesn't think he's going to bunt. He's playing back.
And he's not bunting. They actually, the Mariners, I just looked at the National League numbers. There's only 2 teams in the National League that have more sacrifice bunts than the Mariners. So it is something they do.
Yeah.
They have 15. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. Andrioli is the on-deck hitter.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the on-deck hitter. He is rookie, and if you bunt second and third, infield would come in, and of course he does have a base hit in his second at bat. He's also hit fly balls to right field twice. Probably dip enough to, the diving play by Piscotty in his last at bat. That was in the 7th inning.
And a hanger, and it's popped foul.
Well, and remember, Andrioli's a rabbit on deck as well. He can run. So while you think the double play might be in order, not necessarily a prime candidate for the 2-ball.
So you get the double play with Zunino and take your chances with Andrioli. And they might have pinch hit for him because he plays so well in the outfield because of his speed and his ability to run down some balls.
1-2 pitch, just a little bit low. Did he get you? Yeah, he got you. Brian Honora got rid.
I mean, it's funny. Yeah.
And then the turn. The turn is what gets you.
Yeah, David Phillips used to do that too. He'd turn. They made it look like a strike every time. It does buy a couple of seconds. 1,001, 1,002. Ball.
Healy and Gamble, the runners. And that pitch is in the dirt. No swing, and Zunino is able to check his swing and a sharp breaking ball from Casilla. So now the count is full.
Well, almost hit the plate. A very tough pitch to block, but Lucroy did a very good job keeping the double play in order. And with the sand Ryan Healy, and now or at least Moretto trying to keep him close at second.
3-2. See if the runners indeed take off. They do not, and the ball's rolled foul. Casilla knows he's got to throw a stride. Mariners scored the only run in the game in the 4th inning. The A's offensively have just 3 hits. They've had 1 runner in scoring position. Three-two pitch. A little flare left field. Canna hustling over. He dives and he caught it.
Wow.
Put on a show, A's outfield.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Slap the leather, green and gold. Mark Canna, the foot soldier, out in left field, picking him up, putting him down, tracking. And guys, this is a heads-up play by Mark Canna. He turns his body to the side to avoid injury. He goes into the roll, pops up, checks the runners, makes sure he's got a very good understanding of where everybody's at. But just an unbelievable athletic display by Mark Canna. Heads-up play. Tremendous job. I mean, twofold here. You're avoiding injury and you're prepared to get up and make a throw if need be.
So 1 out. Here's Andrioli.
And that's, I tell you, for Ryan Healy and Ben Gamble not to run on that, assuming it was going to be a base hit, that was pretty impressive for them.
A swing and a miss off of Lucroy, and the runners move up. Let's see what happened here.
Well, it was in Toronto that Lucroy called a fastball and got a curveball, and this one he just missed it. Just missed it off his glove, a little cut fastball, and right off the edge, didn't extend his catcher's mitt to catch it in the pocket.
So now the infield has to come in. Casilla needs a strikeout. Andrioli 1 for 3, got his first big league hit, a single in the 5th inning. And that one's outside, 1-1. You think of Piscotty's 2 plays, one of them saved a run on a home run, and the other one saved a run. And then Canna, at least for the time being, saved a run. Another pitch outside. Andrioli, who swung at the first pitch, even though it was off the plate, has taken the next 2. Gordon Beckham is the on-deck hitter. A's bullpen is quiet. Diaz, the closer, is in the Mariners bullpen.
And he's looking for more than a 1-run lead, too, and that's why this is a big inning.
2-1 pitch is low, and now it's 3-1. So Santiago Casilla, well, he's never been known to have pinpoint control, but a little bit too much off the plate here in the 9th inning.
Remember what we said in Texas, what the skipper said? Told him if you throw strikes, you're going to be good.
Yep.
And
I think it's been that way for him his whole career. 3-1 pitch is not close, and now they are loaded. He's also done that his whole career. Once in a while he tries to maybe overthrow just a little bit.
Yep.
So it's not going to be Beckham. It's going to be Daniel Vogelbach, the big man.
The big man, if you can, I mean, he can strike out. He can also hit a ground ball and hit for 2. So
batting for Beckham, number 20, Daniel Vogelbach.
big boy.
So a huge at-bat in this game. There's your runners. We'll go back hitting for Beckham. And the first pitch is a strike. Casilla got the call that time. Looked like it was out a little bit, but he'll take it.
He'll take it. Strike one, the best pitch in baseball. Lucroy does a good job of kind of swaying his body out there just to give him a little bit better presentation. You got Honora to sell in, buy in.
Tried it again. So the count 1-1. Nothing going on there tonight.
Well, an 0 for 9 would look great. He's playing for 2.
And that one blocked nicely by Lucroy, saved a run.
Well, again, we emphasize the wild pitches, and granted, probably a pass ball, but this does save a run. Saves a run and keeps really runners from second and third, which would eliminate any possibility of a double play. So great block by Lucroy.
That one tapped to Casilla. He throws home on the third. Double play. Unbelievable. What do you want to call it? Magic Man, Houdini?
It's called
whatever.
Houdini.
It worked.
And they'll take it.
So maybe a little momentum heading into the bottom of the ninth. Mariners leading 1-0.
TV, and by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Time now for the Chrysler drive of the game. Well, this is the only run of the game, and Reddy was on the move, bobbled by Semien. He was going to go to the plate, instead went to first, tried to, but pulled Olsen off the bag, was given 86. Should have been an RBI, but the official score ruled it an E6 all the way with no run batted in. So an unearned run, but still 1-0. The A's only 3 hits. But the biggest play in the game was that man right there, turning a 1-2-3 double play. And the Mariners are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, but they turn it over to Edwin Diaz, and they hope that the A's can take advantage of just the 1-run trailing in this game. Because for a closer, they like 2 or 3. 1, so many different things can happen. Starts with a man who's pretty strong.
First pitch to Pinder is fastball first strike. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So Diaz facing Pinder, Lowry, and Chapman here in the bottom of the ninth. And it's quickly 0-2. Fastball at 97 miles an hour, kind of darting down and into Pinder.
Last night when Semien almost hit the home run, then he came back with a nasty slider to strike him out.
16 pitches last night for Diaz to get the save, and on 3 pitches, Pinder strikes out.
Well, the double play with bases loaded. A ball that really, for Vogelbach, if he hits it to any place other than the pitch, it's not going to be double play. But Jonathan Lucroy made sure he touched the play with his right foot, cleared himself, and then the low throw to first handled nicely by Matt Olson. Casilla never one not to show emotion. So his first appearance as a U.S. citizen, he plays a Houdini.
Yes, he did. And we're glad he did.
Absolutely.
So here's Lowry. Couple of hits against Diaz, including a walk in his career. Tonight, he's got 2 singles and a walk. Right there, and it's 0-2, 97 miles an hour. We're with you with the rally cap. 0-2 pitch. I think with Diaz, what we're seeing now, if he has decent control with his fastball, then he's really tough, because once in a while his fastball command sort of leaves him, and it happened a fair amount last year. Not happening a lot this year.
Well, to your point, a game back in early May, walked 4 in a game.
2-2 to Lowry. 2-2 pitch, and that hard slider down and in, and Lowry chased it.
Well, you have to think about it.
Well, you're right, Foss. You have to think about that slider, because you're talking about 97, 98 that they're throwing this slider off of. And if he's able to get ahead and execute strike 1, Pipe, you mentioned that's why he looks so good, or that's why he can perform so well, is because he's ahead of you early with the heater, and then that wipeout secondary stuff comes.
Yeah, if he gets strike 1 on you. Ugh. And Chapman, a first pitch slider for a strike.
Well, he's 3 for 3. First pitch strikes.
Chapman's hit a couple of line drives tonight, nothing to show for it. And that fastball inside. Diaz is just 23 years old, and 34 saves last year, sitting on 16 this year. Swing and a miss. So it's 1-2. A's down to their final strike. Chapman's got to battle him here. Canna would be next.
And if he gets a save tonight, he's got about a third of his saves against the A's.
1-2 pitch, and he went with that hard slider, and it spins off the plate to even the count at 2-2. Pitch, got him with a fastball at 98 miles an hour, and Diaz comes in. He strikes out the side in the bottom of the 9th inning, and a quiet night for the A's offensively as they are shut out for the 3rd time this year. So the first 2 games of the series go to the Mariners tonight. 2 hours and 43 minutes in front of 6,991. The final score: the Mariners shut out the Athletics 1-0. Time now for A's Post-Game Live. Brody Brazil standing by in the studio. Brody, take it away.